What's up, everybody? We're back.
It's been a while. Sorry, we've got a backlog of stuff to talk about, but
I had COVID. Sorry.
Sean had COVID.
Yeah.
So
it really sucked. I think I got it at I went and saw Infamous Wrestling. Not a dig on Infamous Wrestling. It was a lot of fun, but
it's full of people with COVID.
Yeah.
So
they encourage people with COVID to come out to the last show. No, but Infamous Wrestling was a lot of fun.
I'm sorry, Infamous Wrestling.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago went and saw that. Tom Bermudez does sound for them. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Geez, I'm knock on wood. Still haven't got COVID. I'm triple vaccinated.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't like some people. I was exposed to it at work this week.
Yeah.
But,
you might get it because we made out before we started recording this.
Yeah.
Probably still have a little bit left.
We had a long. We were listening to a lot of montage rock from the 80s.
God damn it. So good. Can you rattle off what we're listening to? Yeah.
We started off with a lot of Survivor and then got into some fucking Sammy Hagar and then some Striper and Jesus. Anyway,
so good. REO Speedwagon.
We did not listen to any REO Speedwagon yet.
What? We listened to
New England. And Kiss, a lot of Kiss, Unmasked.
I thought we listened to Grace Slick.
Jefferson Starship.
Jefferson Starship, sorry.
Yeah, had to hear Strangers and Jane. Anyway, yeah.
That was a great God damn, that was a really good montage.
Made me want to do push-ups and think about old
breakups
and victories in the future.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
It's like very inspirational. You know,
gonna win in the future. I'm really inspired to write a whole montage fucking album. So you're gonna play drums.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, God, I wouldn't play drums in a band with you in it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would, but you know.
Only if it's a montage rock.
Oh yeah, you can sing and play drums. I should play bass.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I would love to play drums, but you know, I don't know if everyone else would love that. You know,
it's the best. I think it's the best for you to play in a montage.
It'd be best for my drumming.
Yeah. For your style.
I mean, finally, at the age of like 52, they'll be in the drum prodigy, Toby Marsh.
Yeah.
Boom. And I'll play a bunch of mid-tempo rock.
Yeah.
Like, boom. Oh yeah, some Pat Benatar, Promises in the Dark.
Yes.
Oh, Dio.
You know what it's gonna be like?
Mystery.
It's gonna be like Stars on 45, but our version of it, and we're just gonna go from song to song to song with the same beat.
I can play mid-tempo rockers and ballads.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Like 55 minutes of mid-tempo ballads, montage, mid-tempo ballads, and the videos are gonna be great.
Yeah. Okay, and I did some. Oh shit, we had the fucking record release yesterday. Yardwork and Pocket Fisherman, and here I am not having the Yardwork album again.
God, well, I already reviewed it last week, so.
I know, but shit, if I don't flash
Nobody
it every
needs to
time, we still got a few copies left. I sold some.
How'd the show
fucking
go?
Yardwork 2. Here Comes the Neighborhood. The show was fucking awesome. Little Darling's great. It's cool to play in South Austin because there's a bunch of people. Like, used to be Austin was one show.
Let me
What
see
you
that. Let
mean?
me see your CD.
Oh yeah, sorry. It used to be Austin, now North Austin, South Austin. I mean, I feel like it's like 15% overlap, you know. And then when I go down there, I see a bunch of people that like I hadn't seen in a while. So I figured I gotta start, you know, get out of the neighborhood a little bit.
Yeah.
We tend to play the Parlor a lot, which I love the Parlor, but you know, geographically not accessible to everyone outside the neighborhood.
That's true.
Know,
yeah.
easily.
Little Darling's so fun.
Little Darling is awesome. Had a great time. That was awesome. Made good food, and it sounded good. Pocket Fishermen are awesome, and they're gonna play with us at the North Austin record release with This Party Sucks. And boy, I did it. I did exactly what I'm gonna say I did. The band's called Esther Pyle. God damn it. There's a band coming from Dallas, and I'll learn the name. Yeah, if you can get the invite on your phone.
Yeah.
But anyway, and that's on Sunday, 4 to 7 at the Parlor. This Party Sucks is going to play first, so you won't want to be late because they're so awesome. And and I always try to get them to play, and I've always been trying to get the Pocket Fishermen to play with us too. And finally, I got them for 2 shows in a row. So, yeah, all that was cool. I went to some shows God, I went and saw Stinking Lizaveta at the Lost Well. That was fucking dope. And,
I don't know.
oh, don't worry about it. Sorry, Dallas band. Y'all are gonna be awesome. It's Esther. It's like a name. Esther
Lim? No.
No, that's now we're just gonna start naming random people.
People named Esther?
Yeah.
Right.
Esther's Follies. Yeah. Esther something. Sorry, guys. I haven't met them yet. If I had met them or heard them, I'm not sure I'd remember their name. You know?
Yeah.
So, what did you do with COVID?
Man.
Did you listen to some audiobooks?
I didn't listen to any audiobooks, and I didn't really watch a lot of movies except for, like, I should have watched all the movies you lent me, but I haven't watched those yet. I'm kind of waiting to watch them with Jonas, but we had to kind of stay in 2 different rooms the whole time.
Yeah.
So there wasn't any, like, chance to bond. So I just kind of watched my old standby, like, feel-good movies. Clueless, Nacho Libre. I watched a lot of Jeffersons on my TV. What else? Yeah, I mean...
I watched the Michael Caine Italian Job like 10 times, and I just slept through it like 15 times. I saw it at the Paramount too. And
that's awesome.
Then I saw the DVD for like $1, so I picked it up, and yeah, I was watching a lot of that and Rockford Files, like season 1 of the Rockford Files.
What was the other
Same
one?
episodes over and over. I just fall asleep.
What was the other show you said was really good that comes on like my TV a lot? Or, damn it, it's like a mystery show. You just mentioned it earlier when I was talking about the Jeffersons and anyway.
Oh, sorry about
but
that.
They've got a lot of good rerun shows too that make you feel good. Taxi, I didn't really watch a lot of Taxi when I was young, but so I watched a lot of Taxi.
Oh yeah, that was on at
Jeffersons,
8:30 on like
Maverick.
Thursdays, you know. So
Yeah.
I was really into that one from the fucking get-go. Yeah, so all right, so here we're gonna talk about the fucking records. Now, as I said before, I'm not here to talk about classic albums, but we're gonna do that a little bit because to get the new fucking lost album from The Clash called The People's Hall, you have to buy the remaster of Combat Rock, which they should have just sold The People's Hall on its own, you know. But you know what? Combat Rock is awesome. And I think there's almost like a story to be told from having these 2 records together. That's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, that is really nice.
Yeah, So, okay, Combat Rock, we've seen this cover, and here's this little, I should probably take this little sticker off, but
no, you gotta
I don't want to tear it. Okay. And then the People's Hall, they have this cover, it's like a stamp. And Combat Rock sounds great. And I'll get to that later. Let's talk about the People's Hall.
Okay.
It starts off with some bullshit, you know? Basically, it's got like fucking 4 minutes of crowd noise.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I hate that. You know what it reminds me of? Is the fucking Melvins, I got so bummed on the Melvins. They put out that double album called A Walk with Love and Death, and they were on a real hot streak at the time. And the first album is pretty good, right? It's actually subpar for their other albums that had just come out. And then the fucking second album of the double album is just atmospheric. Imagine if the first track of fucking The People's Hall
was Outside
a
Bonds?
whole album.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But instead of just being in the city, like crowd noise, it's just like around a house, someone's running a vacuum cleaner over here.
Oh, God.
And like
What
maybe there's crickets and an air conditioner, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, the album was like $18, and I was like, God, this is a dick move.
Yeah.
This is like fuck the fans move, you know?
Do you think they got like...
But not to diss the... Here's the thing, The Clash, they have one track of that, and I don't get it. Conceptually, if there was more of a conversation going on,
right?
Because there's like like if, I don't know, I'm thinking of like Paradise Theater by Styx or something like that, where it might start with like a street scene, but there's obviously, or fucking Gigi Allen, Teen Pussy scene, you know, that like, I represent the Jabbas, you know, that like that kind of,
right,
you know.
right.
But no, it's just like, I kept trying to follow it, right? I don't want to harp on this too much, but what a bad opening.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't understand it either. And it's actually, I mean, it's not, I mean, it's the opening of the People's Hall, so it's after Combat Rock.
It was before Combat Rock.
Oh well, no,
Is it?
It's the beginning of the new of People's Hall. Combat Rock.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the People's Hall is the album that was rejected by the label in between Sandinista and Combat Rock. And I'll tell you what, I mean, we'll get to People's Hall, but Combat Rock is like the A&R guy won, but I think we all win as listeners because it's exactly what we all wanted to hear from The Clash. I think, did we really want to hear Sandinista too?
Right.
Or, you know, it was like, I think the A&R guy was like, listen, people think of you guys as a punk band. They want to hear you come out and be, you know, revolutionary and, you know, rocking and, you know, and it might have been like, you know, the last hurrah for The Clash, but goddamn, like side one, I realized listening to Combat Rock that it's one of those albums I listened to side one over and over and over, and I listened to side two like 8 times, you know?
Right.
But I mean, yeah, it's all hits. It's all killer. No filler on side one of that. And, you know, side two's aight, you know? But fucking the People's Hall has got some jams. It's kind of loose, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of loosey-goosey. It's like they were having fun in the studio,
and
you know?
That's exactly what my adjective is for that entire, for People's Hall is. It's fun. It's a good time. The recordings are varied. Some are like pretty slick, and others are like it's just a room mic, you know, picking stuff up. But all in all, though, the musicianship and the collaborations that they have, and all of the other instruments that are, I mean, of course, there's like sax and piano and just all kinds of stuff. But almost progressive in a few points too. I think I was mentioning how like some of those songs reminded me of like early Peter Gabriel kind of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, later on it gets very like international, atmospheric, you know, like absolutely. Peter Gabriel Security.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can hear that influence as well. There's like, okay, so the first real song, Futura 2000, is a rap song, and this is of course really early in rap history, and the guy never claims to be a rapper. He's a graffiti artist, and he's talking about graffiti art, and it's fun, but you can tell like this is intended to be like a B-side of a single or something, you know. But he's like name checking a bunch of graffiti artists in New York, and he named Samo, which is John Michel Basquiat, you know, early on. So man, that guy was hip before he was famous.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And then they come into where are we on here? They've got a song with like a saxophone jam, right?
Right. They do Know Your Rights.
Fucking Know Your Rights. Okay. Oh, so the only thing saved that made it out from like the original album that got rejected is Radio Clash.
Right.
So they open the real opening is Radio Clash with different lyrics. And I love Radio Clash. I think it's awesome.
But this version is like funkier. It's almost got like a techno vibe to it, you know, because they've thrown some more keyboard or, you know, synthesizers into it.
Slightly different lyrics, but not totally different. Right. You know, what's really different is the closer is Know Your Rights, you know, and man, they really sharpen that up for Combat Rock, because like it doesn't have that intro on. This is a public service announcement. Wicked. None of that. It's just kind of more like a Woody Guthrie kind of vibe, you know, like a folk song, you know, and like some of the lyrics towards the end aren't quite as sharp. Like, it gets a little bit wishy-washy, you know. And if you're going to be making a statement, you got to make a statement.
Right.
Not at the end be like, yeah, you know, take it or leave it, you know. Whatever. Your opinion's good, too, you know.
And then when they do Radio 1 with Mikey Dread.
Oh, yeah. Reggae Jam. Yeah. And then I do like Long Time Jerk. There's a few.
That's a fun song.
Towards the end, there's some songs that sound like they could have been on Sandinista. You know?
Like Sean Flynn, I think.
And it's cool. And It's a fun listen. I'll listen to it more. It kind of reminds me of the three shelved, especially the first one, the Jimi Hendrix albums that came out starting in the late '90s. There's like 3 double albums of posthumous Jimi Hendrix. One's I'm forgetting their title. Southsider and Delta is the first one. And you can it's looser. You can see why the label was like, this can't be the new album. It's a jam album, or whatever.
Right.
But
yeah, that's what a lot of this is, I think.
they should have put out. Here's what they should have done. In hindsight, is of course really easy. But like they should have put out the People's Hall when Mick Jones quit. Like after Combat Rock, instead of rushing a new lineup out and putting out Cut the Crap, which is pretty much like deleted from the catalog now. They should have just been like, well, we've got this other album. Let's like kind of ride this gravy train. I don't know if they thought that like Joe Strummer, I don't know, because that version, the last version of the Clash, is kind of like the last version of Velvet Underground. Like everyone tries to forget it.
Right.
They don't want you to remember that when you think of the Clash.
This would have been a better thing to go out on, like for sure.
Yeah,
because it leaves a good taste in your mouth, and it
does.
It's a happy record, and
it's a grower. It's like I probably mentioned this before, but the Onion had an article. It was editorial. It's like album that takes a while to grow on you actually isn't that good. But some of my favorite albums that took me, like with David Bowie, like. I've been such a fan of Bowie since I was like in 6th grade but different albums change. The stuff that I thought was boring when I was a kid, or less exciting, more 70s rock, is now my favorite stuff.
Right.
And the stuff that was my favorite now sounds a little bit gimmicky to me or something, but I still love, all of it,
Yeah.
But whatever, you learn to appreciate different things as you go on.
And for the Clash, though, I mean, it's almost like it ages really well, or at least this kind of stuff does for me, because I did like more of the punky sounding Clash when I was younger, but I don't know if I would have liked this 20 years ago. But I really love the, like you said, really atmospheric.
It almost gets into an Americana vibe, because I was trying to talk, because I know like Joe Ely was opening for the Clash, and I was talking with Chelsea about this, because her dad was playing with Joe Ely, and about like I think some of the Americana vibe kind of shows through, probably, which is not what the label wanted to hear from the Clash. Like do Americans really want to hear or we don't want to get into like U2 rattle and hum territory with the British coming over and celebrating American culture, which is like what the Rolling Stones do.
What
did the Beatles do? But you can go whatever. But the Clash, I like it.
It's great. Awesome. It's so great. Yeah, and it's great on two levels, because if you've got a kid or someone that is not hip to combat rock, like, what a great experience for them, because it's all been remastered, and then the People's Hall, good for all of us oldies.
And what's not on here that we would both like to hear is the Ranking Roger remixes of fucking. Well, it's on YouTube. It's Red Angel, Dragnet, and Rock the Casbah.
Right. And Rock the Casbah is like nothing that you'd expect.
Neither.
Completely. You don't even know what it is until like the first verse kicks in, the musical verse kicks in, but he is just doing his own flow.
He's freestyle
over the whole song, and it's fantastic. It's really
I
great.
love it. I mean, Rock the Casbah wouldn't have been played at football games if the Ranking Roger version is what we heard, but
unless it was in Coventry. Right?
Yeah. Unless Coventry's football team's playing, then that would be But it's awesome to hear, and then it makes you even appreciate how good those songs are. Red Angel Dragnet also is so good, the bass playing on that song particularly just fucking gets me off, and I love Rock the Rock the Casbah. I was talking about how like. In so many cases, like the drummer, doesn't get a lot of songwriting credits, but the one songwriting credit they do is everyone's so Rock the Casbah is the drummer's song in Clash, and he didn't. Did he write anything else? Like it's like if you're gonna pop off with one song, it should be the one with the best royalties.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Tommy Ramone, and the Ramones didn't write much, but he wrote Blitzkrieg Bop.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but I mean, they still did group songwriting credit on that. But yeah, sometimes the drummer, you know, in fucking Yard Work, Aaron wrote his one song is "Snake in the House," and
It's a hit.
it's a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Sometimes
favorite.
the drummer knows what you need to do.
Yeah.
You know, even if like they don't have a whole lot of ideas, they're like, God, y'all keep fucking around, flirting around with what you need to do, and here's what it obviously is, dumbasses. You know. Like,
Sometimes the drummers know best. That's all I gotta say. You know.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, moving on to other classic punkers. We have Fables in a Foreign Land by Mr. John Doe on Fat Possum Records.
This is his 14th studio album.
Is a solo artist?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 14th, which
Let me tell y'all something. I love X. I don't know his solo material that well, and I don't know the Knitters that well. I love X. This is the only. So I remember when the first one came on, it had a song called "Let's Get Mad," and I've missed everything else. Right?
Oh, his first solo album? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Okay.
And that was like 1990.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 40
yeah.
years ago.
I know he plays like the Cactus and stuff, or he was throughout the years, which is like a folky place. So, you know, okay. So in all the records I have, and all of that stuff, folk is really underrepresented. Like, and to me, I grew up listening to a lot of Peter, Paul, and Mary and Kingston Trio, and soft folk music, and I never wanted to listen to much folk. I do have some Dylan albums. I have some early Dylan, and I have some Nick Drake.
Like outside of Leaving Home, you were like, I'm kind of just done with it.
I have it out for Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's an album called Peter, Paul, and Mommy, and like,
Oh no.
like, if people ask me like, what album got you into punk rock, it's that one.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, if we can do something that sounds as little like Peter, Paul, and Mommy as possible, I would love to do that, because this is fucking bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Next Yard
I don't
Work.
feel that way about the other acts. I just, like, that album really fucking rubbed me wrong. And so yeah, you know what?
So everybody, Toby's birthday's coming up in August. So what a great gift. Get
the
Peter, Paul, and Mommy,
the deluxe reissue. Yeah. Going to the zoo tomorrow. And
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah.
So it's 26.
That album fucking sucks.
Going
In
to the
hell,
zoo.
they're gonna be playing that for me over and over when they fucking whatever I did, badmouth the wrong person or whatever. So I really got off on a tangent, because you know what, this album's good, and despite like, here's what my takeaway from the John Doe album. John Doe wrote everything in X, didn't he?
He did write everything in X, and it's very apparent that he wrote everything in X when you listen to this, because this sounds like a folky X.
When I hear these songs, I can hear like, okay, here's the part where Exene should come in with her like one note off harmony. Here's the part where Billy Zoom should come in with a fancy rockabilly guitar lick, you know.
Right.
And you know, it's obvious who's the style originator in that band.
Right.
Now, that being said, not to downplay everybody else in that band, because they sound so great together that I go see them anytime I can. And like, when I watch X, I think about like, man, these people don't like each other, and the more they don't like each other, the better they sound. Like, I can pick it up watching them that they're not friends,
Right.
you know?
Right.
But they've been playing together, like the chemistry you have with the people, when you play with the people that you came up learning to play with, and I'm not saying they didn't know how to play before they started playing together, but damn, fucking chemistry out the wazoo, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they sound so good. Anyway, this album is good. It's got it's got my man Conrad Chacroon on drums. I've known this guy since he was in kindergarten. He used to come in and buy pencils from me at the bookstore.
That's awesome.
He was a cute kid, and he's always been a great drummer. And I say that he's 45 or whatever. And he's played with a lot of people. NRBQ and fucking Sean Colvin. He's a really prolific drummer.
Cool.
Yeah, and Banana Blender Surprise. That's where he got started. Those were all guys I went to school with way back when.
Wow.
But the rest of them became like career guys, and he's a fucking lifer, and he stuck it out, and now he's playing with John Doe.
That's badass.
Yeah,
I love that.
among other high-profile gigs. Yeah,
Right. Instead of selling your fucking soul to the corporate.
No, these guys are all doing worthwhile stuff. They're like doctors and fucking, working with like PTSD, trauma therapy, research.
Not playing with John Doe.
Not like, fucking whatever evil ass corporate job we could have.
Yeah.
So I don't want to badmouth those guys because they're awesome. But fucking Conrad's killing it in music. And so on this album, they got the bass player from Willie Nelson playing stand-up bass, and I really like the songs where you can hear the rhythm section, like the jump,
Right.
Like I love that sound. It's great, and there is some songs on here that sound like Where the Songbirds Live, the closing track, like that. I was like, I want to go check. Is that on Under the Big Black Sun? It really sounds like. Are you sure? It's kind of like Steve Harris and Iron Maiden, also a bass player, but like other people in Iron Maiden have written a song, but when you hear an Iron Maiden song that to the core stylistically is Iron Maiden, and you look at the writing credit, it's fucking Steve Harris by himself.
Wow.
Like all the classic ones, and there's other songs people like that. The other guys had a hand in, but man, you can tell who wrote everything when you listen to this.
Yeah, it's reflectful, like the lyrics. Yeah. It's mournful.
It is all that,
and it's a definite real strummy percussion, like a string percussion type of vibe to it also. So Never Coming Back, the first song, I feel like it's about like a metaphor for death. In a way, and it's about like his parents. I almost thought it was like a storytelling, like the whole record was a storytelling of like just almost like the last Willie Nelson record, where it's like a reflection of life.
It's very reflective,
but it almost felt like you were reading an old country western novel.
Yeah,
the old gunslinger who's like old now and reflecting on his life, and he's living in Tejas, and he's going through the motions of like telling his story, and I kind of felt like this is what that was.
Yeah.
Like, see the Almighty, a lot of God references, a lot of Jesus Christ references. Not about like believing in faith, but like questioning what faith and what it's all about.
Man, he's going deep as shit on that. See the Almighty, it's like I don't know as a listener if I'm ready to go that heavy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm. Other people, then I'll get to this on the next release, especially. There's certain things people go to music for.
Yeah.
And dude, when we get into the super deep questioning spirituality, thought provoking but sort of depressing angle, sometimes I understand, but that's never what I go to music for.
Right.
But anyway, so usually, okay, so that song's great, but honestly, I skip it. The songs I like, go ahead. I don't want. I didn't.
No. I was just gonna say, to your point, my favorite, more upbeat songs on this record would be "Guilty Bystander." It's a traditional upbeat waltz. It's got very Tejano influenced. And it's got an accordion accompaniment, so it's really pretty. The Cowboy and the Hot Air Balloon is a lot of fun, and Destroying Angels.
Destroying Angels is great, and that's another one that I was like, this is an X song.
Yes,
right?
yes. When you hear that, you'll definitely know that this is written by John Doe.
Yeah, and I don't know, an album that came out a couple years ago, at the height when the pandemic was just getting started, and they didn't really promote it, was this Last X album, Alphabet Land, which is one of those albums. It's awesome. I love this record. It's you can tell they were trying to recapture the first 4 albums, and they did to a great effect. And everyone, you can tell Billy Zoom wanted to show I'm Back with all his, because he's got perfect tone.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I haven't listened to this, so I'm glad
you haven't heard this.
I'm glad you.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a great record. Anyway, and I don't know. I mean, I've argued about it. You know, like you know the folks who are like, I want to listen to X. I'll go listen to
That's
fucking
come out 2 years ago.
blah
Wow.
blah blah.
Right.
You know, Wild Gift or you know. Los Angeles. But you know what? After you've heard those albums 10 million times, listen, I listen to Wild Gift. When I listen to Wild Gift, I listened to that album so much when I was 16 years old that every time I hear it, like I'm in my room at that house listening to that album, and I know every second of it like the back of my hand. And I will put it on once a year, and when I see them live and they play those songs, I'm right back there. But like, it's one of those things, like, I know every second of that record, and I don't really need, like, it's in the hard drive of my head. I don't need to put it on, you know?
Right.
Like, it's way more exciting for me to listen to the new record, you know?
Yeah.
But Alphabet Land was awesome, and it really rocked me in the middle of the right when everything was shutting down. And I cannot, when I get a chance to see X again, I would like them to play a couple songs from this. I would like to see the folk trio play, but yeah, or not. Well, that's the next record. I'm talking about this one. All right. So anyway, and I'd like to see them play. It's one of the rare cases where, like, I hope they play 4 or 5 songs from the new album.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Very rare case.
Okay, so now we're moving on. One of our viewers, Jeremiah, thank you, Jeremiah, had a recommendation. He wanted us, I want people to recommend stuff, and it has to come out this year. All right, so we've got Black Country, New Road.
Ants from Up There. This is their second album.
Ants from Up There. I did a little research on them, but they're from England, and they're from what town?
They're from Cambridgeshire.
Cambridgeshire.
Yeah. English band from Cambridgeshire. Yeah, Cambridgeshire. That's what I wrote. I don't know. It's either it's Cambridgeshire. That's what it says. But anyway, it's their second album. I guess you can also call them BCNR.
Oh, good, because that'll be easier.
Yeah.
Man, I have fucked up this band. People will be like, I've been trying to tell people, there's this band that was recommended by this guy, Jeremiah, and they're called, like, Old Country.
Old Country, Black Tan, Black Card, Old Road,
Black Car,
Road.
Old Guy. But, okay, and let me just say this. For cataloging your albums, having a fucking comma in your name is bullshit. Okay? Because, like, you need commas to separate the fucking items in the catalog anyway. And when you've put use a slash. If you want to, like, what was the name of that Ian MacKaye band where it's like, they couldn't decide on a name, so they used 2 names?
Egg Hunt and
Skewbald. Skewbald. What was it called? Skewbald had 2 names. It was God damn it. They had 1 single out. Anyway, it's around the time of Egg Hunt.
Yeah.
Please use a slash, not a comma. Slash. Please, it's so much easier for cataloging your shit, you know? Commas separate everything. They're important. They mean something.
What do you think about so what do you think about this band?
Okay, so here's the point I was getting to. First off, Jeremiah, thank you, dude, because I really impressed my kid by owning this record. Like,
this will be the only hi Darlene. This is the only review show that Darlene's gonna watch.
Dude, she was like, I was over there by the stereo, and I was like, I got this thing that I think you might like. And I started putting, the second I had the cover out from across the room, she's like, you've got Ants from Up There? And I was like, oh, is this popular with your friends? And she's like, I'm the only friend I have who likes this, And so, like,
that's awesome.
And so then
finally,
after we
that'll never happen
this,
again.
No, this is promised. I have to give this to her afterwards. Which
It's a good gift.
It.
It's not a bad record.
And you know what? So here's the thing: is she is into musical theater, right?
Yeah.
And this is very theatrical,
yes.
right? Now, if I went and saw a musical that was based around these songs, it would probably be pretty good.
Pretty
be kind
badass.
of depressing.
Right,
Right?
sure. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay. I've got a few things to say about it, but do you have any points you want to make?
I just want to say here. I've just got adjectives basically. Experimental, post-punk, a lot of the talk singing type of vocals. Not like Sleeper Mods, but maybe more like Yard Act.
Yard Act.
Yeah, maybe more like Yard Act, like that English. It's called a Sprechgesang in German, where it's like talk singing. Anyway.
Fred Schneider from B-52 is going to talk.
Yeah, he does do that quite a bit in his songs. Chamber rock, it's a little progressive, melodic, atmospheric, sad, art rockish. But it's a great listen. After I finished the record, I was like, this is a great album for like a post-breakup for someone in musical theater. No, but anyway, but seriously though.
It's very, very well orchestrated.
They're all talented musicians.
The opening to me sounded like Albert Ayler, like...
Albert Ayler again, Toby? God, you just won't let that guy go, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of like that. But
let's go get the Albert Ayler records now.
But no, I watched some video. They're real young, and so they're very promising. They do. Some other people pointed out some more recent bands that I don't listen to. That they said, this kind of sounds like Arcade Fire, and I wouldn't know because I've never listened to Arcade Fire.
Right, Black Midi. I guess they have been compared to also.
Oh yeah, but I'll tell you what. Here's the deal, and I was trying to get this with that song, The Almighty with John Doe. Is there are certain people in music that I respect the living shit out of that I never listen to. And on the top of that list would probably be Leonard Cohen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And after that might be like fucking Nick Cave solo records, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
that's a great example.
I don't. And then, man, I used to date this girl, and she was really into this Australian band like that called Crime of the City Solution, and I was like, not this funeral music again, like. I'm trying to get out of that mood.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to head to that mood.
Right.
Now, not saying I'm not a one-dimensional person, but like I have, I used to listen to like Lou Reed Berlin a lot, which is really fucking depressing. I used to listen to Husker Du's and Arcade a lot.
Yeah.
But that album, as depressing and dark as it is, it rocks. Like they're really crunching through it, know?
Right.
So. Yeah, I have at times wanted to bask in that, but the slow lyrical, like if I just, I was trying to talk to Darlene about this. She's like, I appreciate lyrics, which she, is implying that I don't, but I like rock lyrics,
right.
Or, I mean, sure, that stuff is great, and there's such a place for it. And I'm never trying to achieve that mood. So here's what I'm saying is like on paper, if I was like the music professor and everyone's turning in their albums and I have to grade them, I would have to grade this an A+.
Yeah.
And I might have to grade the People's Hall a B+, because for the like y'all were just jamming, like these are well written songs, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
And this is some jams,
right?
But the truth is, I'm gonna be listening to this more,
right?
Because this puts me in my mood I want to be in,
more uplifting,
and this bums me out, man. I mean, it's very good, and there's some songs that are so melodically well done, like the place where they inserted the blade in the song Goodwill Hunting.
Two of my favorite songs, and Chaos Space Machine is another one of my favorite songs on this record. But yeah, like I said, man, it really feels like a post-breakup great record to listen. Like I would totally go to this, like after a mean breakup or something. I don't know how else to describe it, but I don't usually seek those places. Like to your point,
like
I don't. But listening to this, to your professor point, I can appreciate the talent and the songwriting abilities of these kids.
Oh my God, so promising. What was the band, Pulp, This Is Hardcore? It kind of I used to listen to that album quite a bit. I mean, I heard it because I worked with this girl, Crystal, who played all that like 90s Britpop because it was the 90s and she was into Britpop.
Yeah.
And that was the one record that I was like, that and Portishead, that I was like, okay, yeah, these are the best of these records, in my opinion,
Right.
what appeals to me, you know? And so, yeah, Black Country New Road, this is good. Some people are going to love this. My daughter is stoked that I'm giving it to her. And I look cool, which is hard to do for me, you know.
Apparently, the lead singer, you always look cool.
I look cool to
opinion.
you,
Yeah,
right.
but in your daughter, my daughter's opinion of me, yeah, we're not that cool.
Yeah, right.
I'm cooler now that my daughter's starting to listen to more punk rock music.
You know what? The fucking new generation of kids are way more open to fucking like rock and roll, party rock, or any good music that's old. And I feel like, you know, for a while, you know, in the early zeros, I kind of felt like what it must have been like to have been like in Nelson during the grunge era or something. It was like in the Bee Gees during the fucking late 80s when they just like
hair metal.
It's like you're so associated with like everyone wants to forget 7 years ago, but once it's 14 years ago, they're like, no, that was cool,
right?
You know?
Right.
And sometimes you have to kind of go away for a little bit, you know,
and rename your band and yourself, and redo your image, and come back.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like the kids want to rock more than the fucking kids in the zeros wanted to rock. I don't mean to discriminate, you know, but it makes me hopeful.
Yeah.
And you know, it's such a diverse thing. I say the kids. There's so many more kids. There's just so many directions to go. So I mean, even if just a fraction of them are into that, I'm not saying all the kids in general.
Right.
There's definitely some interest in things.
What I found with talking to my daughter about music is that she's a lot more open to listening to different styles at this point in her life than I was when I was 20. Like I only wanted to listen to fucking, you know, punk, like garage rock at 20 years old. You know, I was only listening to like Teen Generate and the Mummies and, you know, fucking like Humpers. But she's way more, especially the music that I'm I'm able to turn her on to. Like I think she has way more of an open mind. And so if that says anything about, you know, the rest of her generation, like it's awesome. It's really cool. Which brings me to my other point I was talking to you about was the youngest, those bands under 20 that was featured in the Chronicle a couple Chronicles ago. Like, I need to circle back on that and start going out and seeing these guys play. So, you know, I know Dice Spitz was on there.
But to your last point, I'd like to see them as well. But to your last point, I feel like I had my most I'm pretty open-minded listener. Usually if I'm hanging out with someone, I'll listen to things that are heavier than they want to go and things that are wimpier than they want to go, you know. But I'm not to say I necessarily listen to everything, but I think I had my blinders on where I was most limited in my listening, like in the early mid 90s when like I was really getting like when the Motards were starting and stuff. And I was so like personally invested in what we were doing that if you broke like one of my like rules of like artistic rules, like songs got to be short,
right?
You know, rock songs have to be short, you know, jazz songs are long, rock songs are short,
right?
Or any stupid rule I had, you know, it really cut out a lot of stuff. And I think, you know, as I get older, I don't care what other people are doing. You know, plus absolutely. I can appreciate. Plus, there has to be. If everyone's doing what I was doing, wouldn't that suck?
That would suck. Yeah.
I would be shit. You know, right? That would make me garbage. You know.
It's weird how limiting. Like, I felt the same way. Like, I think my 20s, same time. You know, like we were like kind of in the same boat with that one. But it's nice to. I just think that also too, there is so much out there that's accessible in a lot of different mediums. You know. For me and for you, it was going to Sound Exchange and it was borrowing some CDs or a tape from someone and some records. But everything is so accessible immediately now, and so I think that really helps improve perspective and absorption of just different genres. Because I don't know. Yeah, I think we could have probably gone through our entire music catalog in one sitting on Spotify today, as compared to like, you know, now there's just so much that's open that can be suggested.
I mean, how many outlets did I have as a kid? We had 2 rock stations, a disco station. We did have, I'm from Houston, so we had KTRU, Rice University College, which is where I heard all the punk rock. You know, thank God we had that, right? And then you had MTV and then like BET or whatever. And like, so if it wasn't on that, you know, so you were kind of being spoon fed, you know, by the gatekeepers, you know, and, you know, there was plenty of good stuff and like a lot of talented musicians came through, but, you know, I mean, it's way more open now and kids can, and there's so many more kids and there's such a wider variety of interests, you know. It's and it's not even just music, it's fucking film and video games and, you know, everything, comics and anime, whatever, you know. So
it's very saturated, but I think the oversaturation of all of this media really lends itself to being exposed to more shit than, you know, we probably would have been exposed to 1,000 years ago.
yeah, totally. You really had to go look for it, and it was limited. But okay, so now we've had a nice long show, and once again, I thought we weren't gonna have anything to talk about, and it's 46 minutes in there, and we've been rambling. And so we've got a backlog of things to talk about because we had scheduling problems.
Just throw it in my face, Toby. I had COVID. God, man.
Also, I'm really difficult. I went on vacation. One time we were supposed to meet, and I went to Fort Worth to look at art museums. So, and that was cool, you know. Yeah. And I went to San Antonio and looked at art museums.
Tell your pocket fisherman joke.
I went to the Amon Carter Museum, and it was great to see what the pocket fishermen have been singing about all these decades. That Amon Carter song. They have so many good paintings in that place. Yeah. So, you know what? I kind of wanted to talk about this release with the Clash. There's a re-release of Red Cross Neurotica. Let's not even talk about the quality of this. This is what's coming up. Red Cross Neurotica reissue. Temple of Void. Cave In. The new album by Creator. Artificial Brain. Michael Monroe. Zombie and Friends. Jungle Rot. And Ungrieved. So,
local band.
Yeah, local band. Ungrieved, formerly Blood Royale. Or, you know, some members from there. They didn't just change their name.
Is this their first?
I think it's their first single.
Wow,
yeah,
cool.
And it's very good. But anyway, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a lot of shit, and there's more stuff on the way. And yeah, we'll try to get on it in the next few days.
And let us know if you guys have any suggestions.
Yeah, I love hearing suggestions, and send me stuff.
Especially anything, really.
Anything, because now see Darlene, when she saw that, I was like, well, I gotta watch that episode. Like, are they just trying to send you something you hate? You know, it's like, it's just like, no, it's good.
Send us things that our kids will make us
challenge
cool.
me, Jesus Christ, come on, I mean, and send me some punk rock and death metal, because you know I like that shit. I mean,
local stuff.
If you have a band, you know, and you know if I'm gonna like it, you know. So anyway, let's do the song.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Let me try not
everybody.
to set the knock everything down.
Who's the 1930s performer that you really like again? What's his name? Al what?
Al Jolson?
No, the guy, he was big band kind of stuff. You were just talking about him.
Was I?
We brought his record out the last time that we were talking.
Well, there's Gene Krupa. I mean, no, before Gene Krupa, you're talking about.
I don't remember.
Benny Goodman.
Yeah, Benny Goodman.
Yeah,
So anything like Benny Goodman also, if you guys have some suggestions.
He's been dead like 50 years.
Yeah, there's some new, there's some uncovered archives by Benny Goodman. Toby's all about it. That's all he'll talk about the next episode.
Here, I'll tell my...
No Benny Goodman, actually.
I'll tell my story about my interaction with Count Basie that I had as a child.
Are you serious? Okay. All right, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.